Are hill workouts part of your running routine? They should be. Welcome to the Dangerous Runner. I'm Ralph. Before we talk about running hills, would you be so kind as to subscribe to my channel by clicking the subscribe icon down in the corner of this video? Thank you so much. Running hills are a very important part of any running routine. They have a lot of advantages, building strength, building endurance. And when I talk about running hills, I don't mean hills like you see behind me here. Nothing like that. I'm thinking of something a little more reasonable.
So hill training is kind of like strength training for runners. It builds muscle strength and improves running economy. By that, we mean using less energy to run a given distance. So theoretically, it means you could run a longer distance for the same amount of energy, and you'll get that through hill training. There's been some studies in that area. I read one study where a researcher took 3 groups of runners. One group did hill training, one group did speed intervals on a flat course, and another group just did their regular training. And of course, the hill training group improved running economy by almost 30%. Now, another study done in 2015, they looked at, again, hill running versus not hill running. And not only did they find running economy improvement, but they also found a little bit of speed improvement. Wasn't a lot, maybe 2%. So there's a lot of research to suggest that hill running improves running economy and maybe even speed. From my own personal experience, the last half marathon I did was in late 2019. And about 2 months before the race, an acquaintance of mine who had run the race a year before said there's one really long hill. So I was a little put off by that and thought I better start running some hills. And I did. I did some hill workouts. And when the race day came, I was actually able to run up that long hill. I actually ran the whole hill, which is unusual for me. I usually have to stop and walk some hills. But not only did I run up the hill, but I also set a new personal record for a half marathon. It wasn't a lot, but it was a personal record nonetheless. So I'm a real believer in hill training and improving our running abilities. Now, there are some advantages to hill running. It's less impact on our joints because we shorten our stride, we run uphill, and we improve our running form. It's actually easier on your joints. And also, when you run really fast on flat terrain, you have an option where you might trip and fall. You're going really fast, you could trip and fall. But when you're running up a hill, you're not going as fast as you went on flat terrain, so it's a little safer to improve your strength and your running ability, but not a risk of tripping and falling. Now, when I talk about hill training, of course, you're talking about running uphill, but it's also important you do some jogging and running downhill, because when you do that, you work different muscles in your quads and in your calves to hold you back so you don't go too fast and fall. And doing that builds also strength in those muscles. So jog downhill and run uphill. Now, I said that hill training is like strength training for runners, and we're going to compare that to strength training at the gym where you're lifting weights. When people lift weights, they basically follow 2 different approaches. One is high weights and lower repetitions, or lower weight and high repetitions. For example, for a high weight and lower repetition, maybe you do 100 pounds and you do 8 reps. Doing the higher weights actually builds muscle and builds strength. Is the best way to build muscle and build strength. Now, when you do a lower weight, say you do 50 pounds for 15 repetitions, that does build strength, but also increases endurance. So we kind of want to use that same methodology when we do hill running. We want to do short runs and long runs. The short runs are fast for shorter periods of time. That's like lifting a lot of weight and doing shorter reps. But we also want to do longer hill runs for a longer period of time. That's like the lower weight and longer repetitions. And of course, you need to find a hill. If you're like me, I don't have a lot of hills by me, so I don't have a lot of choice. But I have a couple of hills that aren't too steep. I'm guessing there may be a 5 to 7% grade. If you don't know what a 5 to 7% grade is, go to your gym, get on a treadmill, and set the incline to 5 to 7% and kind of get a feel for what that is. So find a hill. And we're going to talk about 2 workouts. One is the short workout, and that's where you're going to run really fast for a short amount of time and then repeat that for various intervals. So if you're new to hill running, I would suggest starting with a 15-second run as fast as you can going uphill. At the end of that 15 seconds, stop, rest for a short amount, 10 to 15 seconds, do another 15. Now, maybe depending on how long your hill is, you need to walk back down the hill, but try and do 5 sets of 15-second bursts. And at the end of that set, rest 2 or 3 minutes, and then repeat it to another 5 sets of 15-second bursts. Now, you want to, over time, as you get stronger and better, increase that time. So instead of running 15 seconds, maybe build up to 20, 25, and then 30. I wouldn't do any more than 30. Run 30 seconds really fast, rest for 15 seconds or 20 seconds, do 1 set of 5, then rest 2 or 3 minutes, do another set of 5. And of course, as you get stronger at that, if you want to add number of reps, if you want to, instead doing 2 sets of 5, do 2 sets of 8, I think that's fine. But don't go any longer than 30 seconds and try to run as fast as you can, and don't forget to run downhill. So doing those fast bursts for short amount of time are really going to build up the strength in your legs. But we also want to talk about building up endurance. So the second type of hill workout are the longer runs. By longer, I mean, for example, a minute. So you're going to want to run at a slower pace, maybe something you might do on a short run or a 5K pace. Run up that hill for a minute.
So the hill I'm running today is not as steep as that dam hill I showed you earlier. I mean DAM dam, not the other one. It is somewhat steep, so I kind of break it up into two runs, two 1-minute runs, a little pause in between. So I kind of get two hill workouts going up this long hill.
Now I suggest you walk or jog back down, the way you get that work in your thighs and your quads from jogging downhill. Again, take that short rest, run back up another minute and do 5 sets of that, and then rest 2 or 3 minutes and then do another set of 5. Now again, I would suggest you try and build up to where you can run 2 minutes up a hill. Hopefully you have a hill that's that long, but if not, try and run somewhere between 1 and 2 minutes and then jog back down and then repeat that and build up to 5 sets. And again, if you want to do more than 2 sets of 5, want to increase to 2 sets of 8 or 2 sets of 10, that's great. I find after I do a couple sets of 5, I've had enough for the day and I'm ready to be done. And like I said, my personal experience is that really increases running economy and strength. Hey, thanks again for watching my videos. If you like my videos and my channel, I'd appreciate if you would subscribe by hitting that subscribe icon down in the corner. Thank you so much.